Checking. Joining us now right here on the set is Joe Max Higgins, the CEO of the Golden Triangle Development Link. Joe Max, been a little busy lately, hadn't you?
A little bit. A little bit.
All right. First of all, congratulations, sir, on this huge win for the Golden Triangle area, your organization, the people of the community in the great state of Mississippi. It truly was, I think, a team effort to reel this big fish into the boat here. Tell us about the project, and tell us how long you've been working on this and kind of the ups and downs, as is usually the case when you're working on something of this magnitude.
Well, you're right, and we started fielding questions about last December. So people forget how long these things take. We started, how many acres do you have over there? Do you have a rail serve site? Just questions. And we'd submit them. Probably 6 months ago, it started really getting ramped up, and probably 4 months ago, it was all out. And it's been totally all-consuming. That's about the only thing we've worked on. One of our attorneys said the other day, and some other people have been working on the project, said now it's time to go on the apology tour to their other clients, and tell them I'm sorry. And, yep. I've been working on this big project because their work's not been getting done, and we're the same way. So we're starting Monday morning trying to catch up on some of our deals that we just left hanging.
Well, it's a win-lose capitalistic world, and you've been on the lose side of it as well.
Oh, yeah.
We all have.
Oh, yeah.
So, but, you pick yourself up and keep on going and put your best foot forward. Clearly, that's what you did here. So tell us about the company, what they're going to be doing, how many jobs they're going to create, et cetera.
Yeah, so it's Steel Dynamics, which is already here.
Yeah.
And if for everybody out there listening, if there's a lesson to be learned in all this, is take care of your existing companies.
No doubt.
Now, they didn't just say we're going to build here. They looked at, they looked at Kentucky, they looked at Tennessee, they looked at Alabama, they looked at Louisiana, and then they looked at Texas, and they looked at other sites in Mississippi. So the site was literally a Southeast conference, if you will, site search. But I think the fact that they did have a facility here, had a working operation here, knew us, knew the state government, knew folks, I think helped us. But I think the fact that we had the shovel-ready site ready to go probably vaulted us ahead, because speed to market. I mean, every day they're not running, they're losing money.
Right.
And so they've got, they're going to take up about 2,500 acres in 3 different spots. The biggest one's about 22 in one. Excuse me. That's where the aluminum mill will go. They're going to have a biochar plant that's going to take waste wood products and make almost a torrefied or like a rabbit. It looks like rabbit food. It's charcoal. And they're going to, right now they use a lot of coal in the steel producing process. That coal is going to be replaced by that renewable, sustainable wood product. There's a future project that's referred to in the agreement. It's on a 200-acre site. And then the aluminum mill is 2,200 acres, and we expect up to 8 customers, not vendors, not suppliers, not support companies, but 8 companies that will locate with them to use their product.
Okay.
We're being told that 3 of those companies should break ground at the exact same time the mill does and be finished when the mill is finished, and that 2 of them will probably break ground after the mill starts but be finished when the mill is complete. Take advantage of the zero freight, rolling the sheets right over, making it into a can for beverages, making it into an auto component, making it into furniture and other things that aluminum is used for.
Okay. I mean, so it's just classic integrated supply chain manufacturing at the end of the day. And I know you're aware of this. The Japanese have had an advantage on this and figured this out decades ago. Instead of shipping stuff across the country because of the broad size of the U.S.'s landscape, which was an issue, we started figuring out, if these things all located close to each other, we can cut down on a lot of costs and implement just in time and all the other benefits of just being down the street.
Correct.
And that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah, and when the steel mill came, they were on a 1,400-acre site, but you've got a new $108 million tube mill being built. You've got Mississippi Steel Processing, New Process Steel. All these people that process their steels are located on site with them. When SDI built their new plant in Texas, they asked for a bigger campus, and that mill's just a few years old, and they've already filled that campus up. So
awesome.
Now they're going into this arena. They're following their same model.
Wow, that is awesome. So you said you started talking to these folks about this about a year ago. You obviously did a very good job of keeping the lid on it and keeping it concealed. which is important.
It is.
When you're working on these deals, and sometimes that can kill the deal if that gets out.
Correct.
And you talked about how they looked at other states, which is always an issue, and that's where you're just in. It's just raw competition a lot of times. But taking care of them, that company, it's pretty instrumental this way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because, I don't know that we've always done everything right and that they're 100% satisfied with us every day.
Yeah.
But I think all in all, I can tell you this. When we have other companies that come to town that look to come here, I'll walk in and introduce them to the general manager and shut the door and let them sit in there for 30 minutes, an hour, talk by themselves. If you don't have that aftercare and take care of your existing people, you're giving them a sharp knife just to cut your throat.
Yeah, so what the end users of your product say, right, the customers in this case, they're used as a reference is more meaningful and impactful than any sales job you could put on those prospects. All right, so the governor, when did you have to tell him, or was it you that informed him or his staff, hey, we need to get together because this is kind of the package we're looking at to make this deal happen?
So the day that we broke ground on that $108 million tube mill, Governor came and was our keynote speaker at the groundbreaking.
Yep.
And he flew in, and I said, sir, if it's possible, I want to meet with you for a few minutes and make you aware of a project.
Okay.
So the general manager of the steel mill and I went over to the fixed-based operator, and we went in a room, and we walked over the 3 projects. And I said, we can get 1, 2, or all 3 of these. That'd be a long stretch.
Yeah.
But I think we can do it. And we started talking about strategy, about how we would do it and all that. So that day, Governor Reeves got engaged, and probably just about every day we communicated something back and forth. And but he got involved in that day. He said, I'm here, I'm in it. And Speaker, when he was brought in, and the Lieutenant Governor, they said the same thing, and those 4 committee chairmen said okay. And I don't think we could have done it without any of them. But we had that first meeting in a little bitty room at the GTRA airport.
So good to see our leaders at that level working together to accomplish something good for the state of Mississippi. All right, so we got a couple of minutes left here. Can you hang around through the break for the next segment? Because I want to really dig into the incentive package and who architected that and how you came up with that. But first, tell us when you're going to be breaking ground here.
Well, the biochar plant has already done their soil borings, already done their surveys. They have right of early entry from the Industrial Authority. I think they'll start here within 30, 45 days, would be my guess. The other one, air permits, final layouts and all that, we speculated probably March, April of next year for breaking ground.
Okay.
But that's not saying there's not a lot of work that's got to be done between now and then.
Joe Max, is this particularly the aluminum production facility, is this relocating an existing facility, or is this just brand new?
Brand new.
Okay.
There's just not enough aluminum.
Okay.
There's just not enough aluminum. There's a heck of a market here. Robert Clark here in Starkville owns C.C. Clark, a big Coca-Cola distributing deal. Yep. Going back to even COVID, I serve on some boards, and Robert's now on my executive committee, and he said there's been a can shortage. I think he said before COVID.
Wow.
And we're importing cans from foreign countries. Now think about the logistics and the economics of that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
A can with air in it, putting on an airplane or a boat and bringing it over here. So these guys, one of the products we're going to make is sheet aluminum for cans.
Okay.
Beer, sodas, whatever, and roll them out. And that's what these customers that are going to be coming in, you should look for those to be the kind of customers that would make cans.
Sure. Okay. Well, that may draw some more manufacturers here that manufacture the products that they put in those cans.
Well, that's in the count, okay?
Okay. Gotcha. Well, so I bet that's going to end up being bigger than you think it is. Right?
It is.
You got to be conservative and sandbag a little bit.
Once you make the can, you want to put something in it.
We got Joe Max Higgins. He's the CEO of the Golden Triangle Development Link. We're stepping aside for a break right here. We're at the Greater Starkville Development Partnership in Starkville, Mississippi, the Element Well Studios. Coming right back. Stay with us. Mississippi, beautiful day. Greater Starkville Development Partnership. Enjoyed the drive up from Central Mississippi today. I always enjoy getting out and enjoying the landscape of the great state of Mississippi. And it's an easy, convenient, drive, heading up here. Glad to be here. So we've got Joe Max Higgins, CEO of the Golden Triangle Development Link, talking about this big project coming to Columbus. All right, Joe Max, the incentive package was substantial. And this looks to me like that you guys may have employed MDA's Inflex program here. Is that true or not?
Yeah, Inflex will be involved, but there is also just typical MMEIA money.
Okay.
The state's got all in with credits and everything about $250 million, $247 million, I think.
Yep.
About $155 million of that is in cash.
Yeah, explain that. So that's the first thing that caught my attention.
Yeah.
There's a grant, essentially, which typically means there are no strings attached. It's not repaid. It's just
it'll be in the clawbacks, but what they're doing is they're going to have a series of tranches that they're going to provide cash to the company in as they meet milestones. Okay. First one's about $81 million. Okay, and $25 million of that is for public roads. So that will come. That will be of the $81 million. About 25 is MDA or the state share of building 3 roads: Charlie Ford, Artesia Road, and Manufacturers Drive West.
Okay.
The rest will go to the company to do costs that they have. Part of that will be spent to acquire a portion of the property that we have under option that we don't own.
Okay.
We've got about 1,600 acres or so in that aluminum mill that we own. We've got options on the balance of it. So
by we, you're talking about the link.
The link.
Yeah.
The link. Yeah, not the industrial authority,
Right.
not the county, but the link has options on that property, and we will assign those to the company and they'll acquire them. So not all of it, but a lot of the money is going to be spent on site acquisition and public road improvements. And then as they start going vertical, they'll get more funds.
I got you. All right. So then you've also got some fees in lieu as well. Explain that to our audience.
Well, it's a fee in lieu. Obviously, over $60 million is a fee in lieu project. So this qualifies. So the county and the Board of Supervisors agreed to do a fee in lieu, and small writing, I can't hardly say it. On average, the county's going to get about $3.4 million in fee in lieu, and the schools are going to get 4.2.
Okay.
That's for the first 10 years. In year 11, I got it up on here, it's probably easier. In year 11, when the fee in lieu goes off, the county shares about $6.6 million a year, and the schools is almost $8 million a year.
Okay, so explain to our audience, Joe Max, if you will, the in lieu, what that exactly means. Yeah.
So these big projects can qualify for a fee in lieu of tax for 10 years. Property taxes,
yep.
and they pay 1/3 of school. It has to be a minimum of 1/3. It can be more.
Gotcha.
It's not in this case, but 1/3 of the school tax and 1/3 of the county tax. So they're paying county taxes and they're paying school taxes to the tune of $3 or $4 million.
Yeah.
To each entity for that first 10 years. After that all that property.
Then they pay the full boat property tax.
Full boat, whatever the supervisors in the schools.
Yeah.
ask for.
Exactly. So, and the fee in lieu has been around a long time, so it's a very common economic development incentive tool.
Yeah, I've been here I've been here 20 years in June. It was in place when I got here. A few years ago, $100 million was the threshold. A few years ago, a group of us went to the legislature and said, "Hey, can we take that down?" And they took it to 60. So anybody that invests $60 million or more qualifies.
I got you. And this is something that has to be approved by the supervisors as well, right? Of the county.
No, it's just the supervisor.
Okay, but the state has some government.
Yeah, they've got to stamp it.
Right,
they've got to stamp it. But it's the supervisors that you got to convince.
Because that's their revenue.
That's right.
Yeah, that's how they operate.
That's right.
Okay. And then you've also got a payroll tax rebate as well in the package, right?
Oh, yeah.
Explain that.
Well, they'll just get a rebate of a portion of the taxes that they pay.
The individuals that work for them pay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So if you work there, a portion of what you pay, they'll get back.
The company gets back. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and the idea there is you're creating jobs, which is producing income tax.
Correct.
Because of the salaries and the compensation. And so you're just rebating some of that back to the company for a while for that. And then the governor, I think, even talked about, well, we may totally get rid of the income tax here during that 15-year period of time, and there's provision for that.
There's provisions to make. Yeah, that was a lot of the companies around Mississippi's concern when they talk about removing the income tax. Some of them got this incentive, and if the funds are not there to pay the incentives, there has to be a plan put in place. And I think when Speaker Gunn revised his plan last time, he took that into account and took care of that. So they can do it. And look, these are 93,000 is the stated number. So there's a substantial amount of tax that's going to be paid on these.
Yeah, high paying jobs. And then you got to consider also, I think Joe Max is that with that kind of pay, these folks are going to have more than the usual amount of disposable income. They're going to spend their money in the community. That's going to generate lots of sales taxes. That gets split between the municipalities and the state. So that's all built into the return on investment analysis.
Yeah, because, and I haven't seen the model. All I got was IHL has to run a model on these major impact authorities, and they said it came back extremely positive.
Yeah.
I think the governor alluded to that in some of his statements to the media. But and there's been some there's been some skepticism about, well, they're really not going to pay this. The naysayers, the steel mill, that same company across the airport for them, pays last year paid $117,000 average. Okay. So and that doesn't include the stock that they give the people and the cash they give you to pay the taxes on the stock. So that's. I had an accountant one year call me. He said, you keep talking about these high paying jobs out here. I said, well, they are. And he said, no, I've got a girl that I'm doing her taxes. I've got her information here. Mm-hmm. She's in transportation logistics, and she's got a W-2 for $109,000.
Right. And that's actually common in that industry.
It is. And somebody and on all the blogs, well, they pay for $14, $15 an hour. They do.
Right.
But they pay bonuses weekly.
Based on performance.
Based on quality tons produced safely. Yeah. And when you walk around, and the aluminum mill won't be any different, I'm sure, when you walk around and you see the score clock up there, I don't know what it means, but everybody that works there knows they're either ahead or behind.
Yeah.
And it's in your best interest for the push-pull line to be doing very well, because it affects your you say, I don't worry about those guys. Well, you better worry about them.
It's a highly structured form of profit sharing at the end of the day. That's based on all these metrics, and these metrics the company has established that it knows if they're achieving those metrics, that means they're very profitable. And so they're just giving some of that back to incentivize their people to hit those targets.
And you can't say enough about them. They're so community oriented. They gave our YMCA, needed a new pool. They gave them money to build a new pool. They're involved in the schools. They've got scholarship programs for your kids if your mom and daddy work there. If you want to go back and get a master's degree or a degree when you work there, they're paying for that. They're just a poster child for a good corporate citizen.
That's awesome. All right, so what does this do? You got 2,500 acres being consumed by this. What does this do to your land for future economic development projects?
We are, in effect, in Lowndes County, out of land. I know a lot of folks out there.
Good problem, bad problem sort of deal, right?
We've got about between 400 and 500 here in Starkville, and we've got a likely amount in West Point, and fixing to add to that portfolio probably in the next year. But we've got to get this thing staffed up and built, but we've already had meetings on where the next mega site is.
Okay. Talk to supervisors about that?
Oh, yeah. We've got plan A, plan B, and plan C.
Well, but you've proven that you can perform. Well, they gave you the resources to perform. You did it, and so.
Well, we've done 4 mega sites. A $2 billion steel mill, not counting their other people that are with them, probably closer to $2.5 billion on the first mega site. About almost $900 million in PACCAR on the second mega site. Yokohama at $350 low count, but they're about twice. They're about 900 employees at that mega site, and now this one, 4 mega. People say, well, not everybody can do a mega site, but if you do them and you do them right, it works. And this one was particularly. The neat thing about this is the Board of Supervisors took their profits that they made on these other mega sites in Lowndes and plowed them into.
Invested.
Yeah. So you hear about overnight sensations. This site that we own that makes up the lion's share of this, we bought that site in 2013.
Wow.
We installed water and sewer to the site in 2011. Okay, so this overnight sensation deal, we've set on it. We've had a shovel-ready site, certified by TVA. There's only 9 certified mega sites. We got 4 mega sites in the Golden Triangle.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen the success with that in my neck of the woods down in Madison, as you well know, with Joey.
Joey worked for us. Joey saw it.
He understands it.
And he knows it works.
Well, supervisors, the board bought into that, and I think we got a lot of good stuff going there. So it's all good for the great state of Mississippi. Congratulations.
Thanks,
fantastic.
Sir.
I want to pass on my good friend, Representative Fred Shanks, said, you the man.
Thank you, Craig.
Just want to pass that on. Joe Max, I'm sure we'll be talking more. Good to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Joe Max Higgins, CEO of Golden Triangle Development Link, has been our guest on Middays. We're at the Greater Starkville